Hi, Don here. I'm going to go over a coaching call that I had with a doctor today. Um, um, this doctor, he has a very profitable clinic. He sees many patients per day, usually 23 to 24, 5 patients a day. He his revenue is over a million. I think he's about 1.5 million, and he only works 4 days a week. So he's got a really solid practice. He likes to do a lot of lunula, which I was curious about, and he likes to do MLS for heel pain, and he doesn't do that much surgery. So his main constraint is he has openings every day, and he wants to increase the number of new patient visits. So he has, by himself, he has about 4 open slots a day, and he's trying to fill those up. He has tried Facebook ads. He has tried improving his Google My Business kind of locations. He has tried these other things. So I'm going to kind of go over what I was talking to him about with during this coaching call. So once again, his per visit value is solid. It's over $200, which there's not many patients or not many doctors that have that. But his challenge and the 3 things I told him to focus, or I recommended to focus on, were A/B split testing his ads. I think a lot of times we want to abdicate our responsibility for ads, and we don't know if they're working. So he is spending money each month, both on the Google business like ranking, Facebook ads, and Google ads, and upwards of like $2,500 to $3,000 a month, which is a lot of money. So the question is, how much is he getting out of that? And he switched recently ad companies or social media companies. So I recommended, and this is what I've been doing, is once a week I change my Facebook ad and I do A/B split testing and I try to beat the week before. And I'm only working on one offer. My one offer right now is to the urgent care page. I do that for a couple of reasons. He wants to bring in more plantar fasciitis, nail fungus, and things like that. But I suggested, and he is actually doing the thing that I do as well. He is copying my urgent care page. He has some virtual assistants that are very accessible to him, and they're copying my page, and then he's going to do that kind of as his landing page. So don't send Facebook ads to your homepage. Send it to something we call a landing page. So there's only one purpose when they go there, and that is to make an appointment with you. Okay, so that was what he is. One thing I was recommending, that he does A/B split testing for his ads each week, and he's working with a company. Now, I learned this from Alex Hormozy. Is when you're learning ads, it's fine if you don't want to learn. If you hire a company, what they recommend doing, what he recommends, is you have a kind of an agreement with this company. That you're going to use them for a period of time, and during that period of time, they're going to teach your staff or you how to do it so that you can internalize it, and then you'll take them on on a consulting basis. Because what tends to happen is they tend to be good in the beginning, but then they're bad at the end, because they kind of hand you down the pull of less and less experienced people doing your ads. Whereas if you pay them, for example, you'll even pay them more. They'll do the ads, but then you can pay them for like an hour of their time per week. You can kind of learn how they place the ads, how they do everything, how they think about things. And this is kind of the method of going from having it outside it to bringing it kind of inside with either a virtual assistant or someone else doing that inside your own payroll. Second thing I recommended is that to fill up the schedule, because that's his one goal, is to kind of fill it up with these specific patients, but also just fill it up in general, is to do that urgent care page. So urgent care would just fill up those additional slots. Patients can take those slots, and so all of the Facebook, Google, Google My Business, all these other things are funneling to that urgent care page and making it very easy for them to make appointments on there. And then the other thing I recommended for him was to have 10 times the reviews of any other clinic around. And he does not have a great system for getting reviews. Swell, Swell, is a very good one that we used to use. I think we're going to be going back to it. But we have to have a system, and every patient that comes in, they have to get a text message asking them to give a review, and it has to be a very easy system. And you can track that. You can just go to your Google My Business, and you can look at your reviews, and you count in the last 30 days how many reviews you've gotten, so you can see how many you have. Ideally, you're going to have tons and tons and tons of reviews, whatever you want. For podiatry businesses, I think Google works best. Some people do Facebook and things like that. So those are the 3 things I talked about. Once again, if you guys are interested in a strategy call with me, if you go to podiatrypracticemastery.com, on the bottom of the page, there's like a super bar, and there it says strategy call, and you can just pick a time in my schedule. I have some limited times during my lunch hours that we meet and talk. Okay, this is the day here. So first patient was a 15-year-old female that had Swift 3 months ago. She's here for follow-up. They had resolved. She did 4 sessions of Swift, totally resolved. So this would be actually my least valuable patient because at 3 months, the wart was gone, and it was really kind of a lower office visit because I didn't do anything else. Next patient was a 33-year-old man who had right plantar fasciitis, did shockwave number 1 of 6. Next was a 71-year-old man with right plantar fasciitis. He was a previous BNI, Business Network International. I used to do BNI when I first started out. I didn't get many patients from it, and maybe I've seen, 5 patients throughout the years from BNI. It wasn't a good use of my time, but he came in. I did the dynamics demonstration, so I'm going to continue to hit this hard with you guys. So both for plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis, I take a orb ball and I roll it on his Achilles, on his plantar, and his posterior calf. His plantar fascia pain goes away when I'm doing that, and he believes. And then he did the ultrasound, he did an X-ray, and if it's not better in about 4 weeks, we're going to go right into shockwave therapy. The ultrasound did show it thicker in the fascia. Seeing him back. Next was a 61-year-old female. This could have been LVP, least valuable patient, but it ended up not being. She has a follow-up for second metatarsal stress fracture. We got an X-ray, and that's usually how it ends. But I was talking to her. Actually, she was talking to me. She brought up, you mentioned last time about orthotics. I think I'd like those. And so we scanned her for orthotics. So that was orthotic number 1 for the day. She's within the global for the fracture code, but the orthotic helped that out. Next was a 62-year-old female, Swift number 7. So let me talk about this. We don't usually get up to 7 with Swift. She's kind of not a challenging patient, but she's just had warts for a long, long time, and we are doing combination therapy. So I did Swift for her, and I did Cantharidin. So I charged for the Cantharidin, and I did not charge her for the Swift. Why would I do that, you'd ask? Well, because it tends to get expensive. By number 7, it just gets expensive. And second thing is I asked her, and this is something that Swift offers, if you do a social media post on Swift, they will give you, I don't know if it's 1 tip or a box of tips or something like that. So just throwing out something here. So if you want to get free tips and maybe do some free Swift for patients, you can just say, hey, I will do your series of Swift for free if we do videos every single time. So that would give you videos, and that would give you free tips because Swift does that. So just a kind of a marketing idea for Swift, because they do have that offer. I don't know if it's a box of tips or what it is when you do a video, but it's good for everyone. And you have to just send them that video. Next was a 70-year-old female, matrix follow-up. That was a simple one, but she had also concerns of nail fungus, so I took a nail sample. I'm not going to see her back. I'm going to call her with the results. If it's a fungus, I'm going to have her come back. That's what I'm starting to do now. When I'm doing nail samples, if I'm pretty sure it's a fungus, I'll have them come back. But if I'm unsure, like this one, because she had a little bit of an ingrown toenail, that was like the incurvation is rubbing on the top of the shoe and things like that, so I'm going to call her with the results. Next was a CDFE, a diabetic foot exam, and I ordered an ABI. Next was a 53-year-old with left. I did Cariflex. She came in actually from a referral from one of my colleagues. Thought she needed Cariflex on the second toe because it was very thick. The nail sample that she had previously was negative, so all I did was debride the nail and I grinded it down as I would do the Cariflex, but it looked good enough and I didn't have to do the Cariflex. So I said, just come in periodically and we'll grind that thing down. It did not show fungus, and I told her she can do it with a nail file. Not an exciting patient, but she was happy to save about $200. Next was a 59-year-old man for plantar fasciitis. He did number 3 out of 6. Next was a 48-year-old female, left bulbous Achilles tendon pain, shockwave number 1 out of 6. Next was a 70-year-old female, bilateral plantar fasciitis, probably my MVP patient. She had number 1 out of 6 for bilateral shockwave. So we did bilateral shockwave, and that's number 1. and she's such a nice patient, and so I'm going to see her back 5 more times for bilateral shockwave. Next was a 32-year-old female for right second met head pain. She had this pain, kind of not going away. Pain was more dorsally, did not show any stress fracture, no pain with vibration. So I did a little cortisone injection on the dorsal foot away from the joint, and we'll see if she gets better, and she's going to wear a walking boot and come back in about 3 weeks. Next was a 48-year-old female for a left ingrown toenail. This one did a nail sample, and I'm going to call her again with the results. And she had a kind of a weird thing where she had like redness around the distal tip of the toenail, and she's not sure what caused it. It's almost like she had a burn or some type of rubbing in her shoe. Next was a 70-year-old female. This was kind of interesting. She came in for heel pain, thinking she had plantar fasciitis, and she had non-palpable DP and PT pulses and kind of cramping in the foot that went into the calf. So she had intermittent claudication, thinking it was plantar fasciitis. I haven't seen that often before, and so I sent her to vascular. Next was an 18-year-old female. She came in, and she is in the military and moving to Utah. So what I did is she wanted to get rid of this fast, so I did Swift number 1, and I did Cantharidin. It was kind of sad because she cried as I did it, and I never like it when they cry. So I had to turn it down a little bit for the Swift, but she had multiple lesions. She's real frustrated. I think it was less from the pain and more from the frustration of having these warts for such a long time. She's had them removed in the past. Next was a 43-year-old female, kind of an interesting case. She had a pain and injury to the insertion of the tibialis anterior on the dorsal medial foot. Did shockwave number 3 out of 6. She's an avid runner, and I think she just strained that area. Next was a 40-year-old female, had a thick toenail on the left 5th digit. Possible athlete's foot, so I did a ketoconazole prescription, took a nail sample. I'll call her with the results. Once again, I think it was just from rubbing on the 5th toe. I don't think she has nail fungus. Next was a 50-year-old female for right plantar fasciitis, number 4 out of 6 for shockwave. Kind of repetitive, huh? A lot of shockwave. Next was a 62-year-old female for a right wart. I did Cantharidin for her and Swift for her at the same time. Next was the last patient of the day. This was kind of an interesting one. It was a patient that came in, and actually it was the same patient, just a 62-year-old female. She had the wart. We did that treatment, but then she also had difficulty plantar flexing her hallux. So she couldn't plantar flex her hallux on the right side. She could on the left. I could push it down, but she couldn't do it actively. And she had a very large ostrigonum on her x-ray in the back of the ankle, and I think she had some impingement of the FHL. And so we talked to her about possibly removing that to help the range of motion in that tendon, and also kind of the wart treatment. So that was the day. Once again, I hope you guys find this beneficial. If you want to meet for a strategy call, let me know. Also, I'm working on a 6-month challenge for a few select practices if you guys qualify. I want to kind of help. I think it'd be fun to put together the group, so I'm kind of putting together something that I want to be part of. So it's going to be a group of limited practices that we're going to meet once a month to do a mastermind, and I think everyone will benefit from it. So if you want to learn more, you can shoot an email to me, don@podiatrypracticemastery.com. Happy to give you some information, or if you want to set up a strategy call with me as well, same place. You can send me a message. I'll send you the link if you don't have it. If you're thinking, hey, am I a good candidate for it? Basically, it's practices that are under $1 million in personal production for that doctor, and then we would help you increase things to kind of get it up. Okay, we would work on the main struggles that you're having. Okay, have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.